Yeah, salute everybody. We are back, Die Hard Giants Live. I'm your man. I am Jarrell on IG and Twitter, and we are back today with a full NFL 2023 New York Giants draft recap. And I will be going over every prospect that we drafted, and we're going to talk about some the undrafted free agents that we signed also. I got Steph in the back. My boy Eru is coming later, so we might as well just get it going. What's up, Steph?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
All right, we just got done on your show. Excellent show as always. Talking about the Knicks.
Appreciate you having me.
All right, so salute to everybody that's going to be in the chat. Let me look up, get the chat going here. Salute to Jeff. Jeff already came through and threw me a like, even though he a Jets fan. Salute to Jeff.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Ron said he might come through, and everybody that's going to come through in the future, like, salute to you. And we about to get it going now. I don't know how long we going to be on here. We got a lot to talk about. So
Right.
let's
Only
just
days.
So let's just get it going. The NFL draft recap. First off, let's just congratulations to my son for getting paid. Sexy Dexy, 4 years, $90 million contract extension, 60 million guaranteed, 22.5 million average salary. That makes him like the third highest paid defensive tackle in the league. But this is the brilliant part of it. His cap hit this year is less than $7 million.
Wow.
Like Joe Shane is killing it when it comes to these contracts. He's killing it when it comes to like cap structuring. Like he is doing a very very good job. Him and Dabo, because Dabo is part of the reason. Um, Dexter Lawrence even got that extension because the position that he put him in last season. Because Dexter Lawrence actually he changed positions. Like they had him in another. Like he's still a defensive tackle, but he played more nose guard this season.
Right.
So he was able to fully, you know, fully just all of his talent. Dexter Lawrence just was able to show everything last year. So that's why he got this extension, man. I'm happy for him.
No doubt about it. What was his cap hit? I take it it's lower now than it would have been at
Hmm.
when he started.
His cap hit would have been 12 something. I think they almost cut his cap hit in half. Like I think it was like 12.5 or 12.6. I'm not sure. I forgot, but it was over 12 million. So yeah, just by him having this extension, they was able to move some money around, and it ended up being $6 million. This is important because of Saquon Barkley. Because once I think Saquon Barkley is going to sign a long term deal here, maybe not long term, maybe three year extension is good for running backs. But that $10 million that he's going to get because of the tag, the franchise tag, that 10 can turn into four.
Mm.
That 10 can turn into three. It all depends on how they structure the contract. So yeah, man, Joe Shane is killing it, man. Like I'm loving this regime, and by the looks of our draft picks, I'm gonna like if you're a Giants fan and you're watching this show today, I'm gonna get you very, very excited. Because even though I have strengths and weaknesses for every prospect, but the weaknesses are weaknesses. Everybody have weaknesses. Everybody have strengths, but it's the strengths that we're really going to focus on today. So our draft picks, you guys can see the like we're going to go through all of them. So I'm not going to read the names, but we had what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 7 picks. We're going to talk about a our undrafted free agents, but we're going to actually spotlight one. I'll let you guys know. I might keep that a surprise to the end of the show, but I'm going to spotlight one undrafted free agent that I think not only might make the roster, might actually put up some numbers in this offense next season.
Wow.
It's a wide receiver.
I was about to say, are you going to share the position?
Yeah, wide receiver out of West Virginia. Salute Ron in the building. So let's get it going. The first pick, everybody knows our first pick was Deontay Banks. Strengths outside, outstanding size and length for an outside corner. Experience in wide variety of coverages. Like he played press and they played a little bit of zone too, but it was more of a press corner. That's one of the reasons he's a perfect fit for Wink Martindale's system. Elite athleticism. He was probably the most athletic cornerback in the draft. The weaknesses, I go through them real quick. Needs confidence when back is to the ball, like when he's trailing. Sometimes he can lose the ball in the air. So a lot of times that lack of confidence in batting the ball down and stuff of that nature gives up certain contained positioning against the run. Like he could do a little bit better against the run. He's an aggressive corner, so he's not afraid to stick his hat in there, but he can be a little more aggressive when it comes to his positioning and having wide receivers block him. And he's step slow in anticipation on route breaks in the zone. Like I said before, he's mostly known as a man press corner. Not saying that he can't play zone, but if you're going to draft him that high with his athleticism, you're drafting him to be an aggressive man-to-man corner. You're not really, you don't want him to play off ball that much, or he might get in trouble. Let's just say that. So his height, I got the height, weight, arms, 40 times, verts, and broad jumps. I'm gonna have that for every prospect. And see, we had I did the highlight tape of him during the draft when we drafted him. I'm gonna just play the same one,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have one for each prospect. So let's see here.
Love his eyes, though.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Worked hard on him. So Deontay Banks, we're gonna show him here. Salute to California. Before I even start, salute to California highlights and sick edit highlights. They're the two YouTube channels that I got these highlights from. These aren't really film studies because film studies show negative plays also. I'm pretty much just showing positive ones today. I'll talk about his negatives or their negatives during the slides, but when it comes to the highlight plays or the film work, we'll just go through the positive ones just to show you guys what they can bring to the Giants. Yeah, Deontay Banks, if you see him, like he's a ball hawk, man. Like he's very, very athletic. This is against Ohio State, who always has, a number of number one draft pick wide receivers or wide receivers picked in the first round, I should say. And he just picked off C.J. Stroud, who was the number two pick of the draft this past season. So he's a strong kid, man. I like him. Very, very aggressive. Straight out of Baltimore. And when you listen to his interviews, he sounds like it too. Yeah, so a lot of this stuff, most of it I showed during our last show when we drafted him. But I figured I'd show it this this time around too. Because I think that's the only one I think out of all the prospects that we have, I didn't show any highlights of any of the other people that we drafted.
Is he
Just
a
him.
shoe-in to start?
Is he? Say that again.
Is he a shoe-in to start?
Shoe in? No, I wouldn't say shoe in just because we still got vets on this team. Adoree Jackson is probably going to be our number one corner. We still got Aaron Robinson. A lot of people forgot about him because he was hurt last year, but we have him. He's been in the league for what I think 2 or 3 years now. We still got Cordell Flott, who was a good rookie last year for us. Darnay Holmes is still on the roster. So, like, even though he is probably the most talented on the roster, that quick, that doesn't mean he's going to start. Like, you usually in football, you'll be, you have to be dominant at your position to start as soon as you come in. Like, Sauce Gardner was the defensive rookie of the year last year by the Jets. When you look at him play, you could tell he's a starting cornerback. Soon as he got on the field, you could tell. Deontay Banks might take a little while, but I don't think it's going to take that long. So I think I'm gonna shorten this one because we already know what he does. Because I played it the last time, but he had a good game against Ohio State. That's the number one tape a lot of the GMs looked at because Ohio State, when it comes to the wide receivers, they have multiple first round caliber wide receivers on their roster. Any more questions about Banks?
Um, no, not really. And is that the only position? Like he's not a oh boy.
Like a slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mostly outside. I'm not saying he can't play the slot, but if you're gonna put him at his strength, I will put him exactly where they had him, in college. Outside press, man on the island, mano a mano, and him just to be aggressive with the number one wide receiver on the opposing team. I don't want him in the slot, to be honest. I want him in space. I want him on the outside on the island, being able to lock somebody down. And Banks could do that. It's just, he's going to have growing pains. He's a corner.
Those other guys you talked about for the Giants, though,
Hmm.
they play in the slot or they play on the outside.
Aaron Robinson plays both. Cordell Flott, even though Cordell Flott kind of is like his shape is kind of like Deontay, like he's long and lengthy. That usually screams outside corner, but with him, he plays the inside more, so it's kind of deceptive. Darnay Holmes is an inside guy too, so for the outside guys, it's going to be Robinson, Banks, Adoree Jackson. They signed a guy from the Lions. I forgot his name because he actually started for Detroit a couple years ago, but then kind of fell off. So they released him and we grabbed him. I forgot his name though, to be honest. But yeah, he's going to be in the mix. It's another corner that we drafted. We're going to talk about that actually has starting caliber talent, even though we drafted him in the sixth round. We're going to get to him. His name is Trey Hawkins. But for the most part, he doesn't really have that much competition on the outside. I just don't want to give him the starting job just yet. Let's just say that.
Right.
And I highly doubt if they do too. Like he's going to have to earn it. So hold on, let's see. Everybody in chat, what Ron say? Yep, he's a perfect prototype man defender for wing system. Exactly. Yep. Now we gonna go to the man that I think that's gonna start soon as he steps on the field. John Michael Schmitz, second round, 57th pick. Joe Shane actually did a wonderful job with actually showing patience because this is actually like we moved up one slot to get Deontay Banks. That was the story of the draft night when we was up here. John Michael Smith is actually good enough to actually be drafted in the first round, but just because he plays center, that's pretty much the only reason he slid. Because centers aren't really a high commodity when it comes to, the draft just by position. He was slated as the best center in the draft. The Jets picked up Joe Tippmann, who actually plays center and guard, and I think he went ahead of John Michael Schmitz because I think of the versatility. Like Joe Tippmann is like 6'6", 320 pounds. Like he could play guard and center. That's good for them. I would think that he would play start guard for them, not center, especially when he first comes to the league. Yeah, John Michael Smith, man, like we showed patience getting him in the second round. He was actually good enough for us to move up, but Joe Shane did his job. He probably did his due diligence and see how many people was ahead of him slated to pick up a center. And he figured that he could stay at 57. His strengths are makes all the calls up front. He's very, very cerebral dude. Very, very smart lineman from everything that hear about him. His lateral quickness is good. His consistent blocks as a finisher is good. His weaknesses, arms are a little short for his size. Below average adjustments when it comes to moving targets because centers have to do combo blocks. They don't just block the person in front of them. They actually like block the defensive tackle, get off of them, and then have to block the middle linebacker sometimes. Sometimes he can be a little slow to adjusting that, but that's something he could clean up easily and can improve timing when working on the second block. It's pretty much the same thing as the adjustments with the moving targets. And you guys see his measurables, and this is going to be the first time and maybe the only time on this show that I'm going to have highlights of offensive lineman stuff. So hold on, let me get that video. I don't usually do that often, man. I usually keep the highlight reels, for the skill positions. But yeah, man, he's a tough kid. Like he's a mover. And he's a very very smart. Makes all the calls up front, and there's nothing that he can't do at that position. John Michael Smith might be our starting center for the next 10 plus years. Well, barring injury, I don't see any failure for this kid. I think he's one of the might be the safest pick of the whole entire draft, not just because he went to us. Whoever would have drafted him,
Right.
he might be the safest pick in the entire draft.
How solidified is the offensive line? Was that our last piece, or
Um,
we
we,
still got some pieces that we just kind of fill in from year to year?
we have two bookend tackles that were drafted high, so they're solidified. Our guards, we drafted Jonathan Azudu. What was that? The third round last year. So he's a young guy coming up. He got injured. One of our rookies that got injured last year. Right guard and center were the holes in the line. Left guard is a hole too, because even though we drafted Jonathan Azudu high last year, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to pan out. He's the jury's still going out with him. So we'll see. But the middle of the line is definitely is like a point of interest this year. But yeah, John Michael Smith, it's not really much to say because he's a center. None of these highlights are going to wow you. It's just him being stable centerpiece of the line. That as long as he's moving forward,
That's what I was about to say.
right? When you look at him, as you see, he's always moving forward. You're always pushing back. So as long when you're a center, you're not going to expect much.
Mm,
You just have to, man on man, just got to block. Be strong at the point of attack. He's solid.
he's
He knows
solid.
all. Yep, knows all the coverages. And guess who he gets to go up against in practice every day?
Dexter.
Sexy Dexy. So iron sharpens iron. Everybody knows that. So John Michael Smith might mess around and be a pro bowler by next season. Messing with Dexter Lawrence every day in practice because he has the strength.
Too.
Yep, he has the strength. He has everything. He just got to get on the field and prove it now. And this is a guy that's been like in Minnesota for like 5 years, like and started every season. Like he wasn't one of those kids that 3 years and then get into the draft. Like he wanted to stay in college.
They let him play 5, 6, 7 years now. You
Yeah, depending, especially because remember the COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
The COVID year don't didn't even count.
Okay.
So and then after that, after the COVID season, they granted you another season. So some of these dudes has been in college for like 6 seasons.
Mm,
Depending on who you are, but most of them has left before then. But yeah, it's very possible that you can get 6 years out of college now.
mm.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, so that's John Michael Schmitz, man. Like he's going to be our starting center now.
Right. So those centers that we have, you
Hmm.
just feel like he's better than them already, even though he hasn't even taken the NFL season.
Yeah, because our starting center last year we don't have on the team anymore. John Feliciano, I think he's with the 49ers now. And plus, he was kind of, to be honest, he was kind of below average anyway. Kind of older dude. He was one of the people that they brought in from Buffalo. And that was playing center was actually his second position. Like he was naturally a guard, and they moved him to center because of the lack of the position that we had. Like he was forced to play center last year. So the fact that he left, I knew we was going to draft the center. Let's just say that. Now I usually adopt a son every season, Steph. When it comes to the NFL draft, like Dexter Lawrence, when I said my son got paid, like he's been my son since he got drafted. Dexter Lawrence, remember Dexter Lawrence is in the same draft as Daniel Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had three first round picks that year. One of them, Daniel Jones was six. We got Dexter Lawrence because of the Odell Beckham trade. Dexter Lawrence is why is Odell Beckham is why we got Dexter Lawrence. That's the Beckham trade. So we won that trade. Let's just say that. And David Gettleman, the crazy person that he is, after having those two first round picks, traded back up into the bottom of the first round to get DeAndre Baker.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he kind of flamed out soon as he got to the Giants. Like he didn't like that was terrible. So we actually moved up to get him, and he's the one who didn't pan out. So that's part of the reason why David Gettleman isn't here anymore. Like he got a couple good picks, DJ, Dexter Lawrence, a couple other like Julian Love was a good pick. That's out of the same draft also, and that's why his extension was up, but he left and went to Seattle. So all of those players was drafted in the same year. So David Gettleman actually did have a good draft that year. But yeah, every year I get a son. Jalen Hyatt is my son this year because this is the guy that I've been waiting for. I said on this show multiple times that Zay Flowers was my number one wide receiver. Jalen Hyatt was really like my number three after Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. I liked the Jalen Hyatt the best out of that. Like he was my top five. For us to move up to snatch him in round three, even though John Michael Schmitz is the safest pick, Jalen Hyatt is the steal of the draft in the NFL to me.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
regardless of team, not just us. Yeah, because
The entire draft.
in the entire draft, Jalen Hyatt was projected to us like in the beginning of the draft process. Think about this: Jalen Hyatt was projected to us at 25 in the first round. So that's how good of a job Joe Shane did this year. Matter of fact, all three of our first three picks, somebody mocked that player to us in round one. So Deontay Banks, Schmitz at center, and Jalen Hyatt was all mocked to us in the first round by like a notable NFL insider since the draft, since the draft process started. And we got all three of them. That is unheard of. That is I don't know if that has ever happened before. It's nuts. Like we got an A plus on this draft just out of the first three picks. Now the other picks are good too. One of them I question, and we're gonna get into that. But other than that, Jalen Hyatt is a home run hitter. It's almost his tape after looking at it, like it's almost unfair. He is. It's hard to peg him because remember I said before, separation is the number one key when it comes to wide receivers. It's not strength, it's not necessarily speed. Can you separate? He's so good at separating. It's kind of hard to judge him in the NFL because he's not going to be able to do that in college. I mean, in the NFL compared to college, no way. He was just running all around the field, not getting touched. Steph, like the way that the Tennessee's offense is, it's not like conducive to the NFL because of how they have their splits and stuff. It's kind of hard to, kind of hard to explain. But let's just say he's never been pressed before. So if you have a wide receiver that's just putting up huge numbers, never been pressed before, where do you draft him? And that's why he slid because of like his route running. So you can see his strengths, top end speed, creates tension with defensive coordinators. Like he's a defensive coordinator's nightmare because it's something that you really can't. I don't know. Like it's kind of hard to put into words. Like, do you put two safeties at the top all the time because of his speed? You can't do that. So he's going to wreck a lot of defenses. Tears into coverage, and I mean tears into cushions and rockets past man coverage. Maintains spacing from physical coverage. Meaning he's magically never been touched. I've never seen him get hit hard. I never see him get jammed and can't get off of it. His weaknesses are route tree stuff because he didn't really run them. Like his route tree is somewhat limited, lacks deception in short routes, and his lean frame is lacking in play strength. But look, I put the weight at 176. That's what he played at college. He said he's already gotten to 188, and his play weight in the NFL is going to be 190.
Mm.
So that takes away that weakness altogether. So you're not going to be, when you get your hands on him, he's not going to be easily to manipulate when you do press him at the point of attack. Hold on, what Ron say? Okay. Yeah, Ron was talking about DeAndre Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me get Jalen Hyatt's highlights up here. This is going to be nuts. It's going to be fun to watch. Let's just say that. Like you're just going to see him pretty much. This whole highlight tape is going to be like 4 minutes of him just running past people. You're not going to see him hardly get touched in any of these. That's why it's to so hard to gauge how he's going to be in the NFL. Like his comp for me is probably like Deshaun Jackson for the Eagles. Uh, in the combine, he only ran a 4.4 flat, I think. But after the fact, they said he actually ran a 4.4 with a tweaked hammy. Because I don't think he didn't run the 40, and that proves it because he didn't run the 40 again in his pro day. So let's just say if he had a tweaked hammy and ran at a 4.4, his real time is probably like low 4.3s, maybe high 4.2s depending on the day. So this is a lightning fast kid that look, you can't hit what you can't catch. Once he gets the ball in his hand, it's gonna be hard to put a hat on this dude, man. So with the type of offense that we have, it is going to be something to watch. Darren Waller in the middle of the field. We still got Isaiah Hodgins on the outside, like 6'4" wide receiver, big kid. Like this dude is just going to take the top of his main job, even in his rookie season. If I was Brian Dable, I'd just say, "Yo, go long." That's it. He don't have to do anything else. So all of the hangups with his route running, for right now, we don't need him to do anything else but what he's doing, what he's good at.
And he catches the ball.
Yeah. But with these, I
Oh.
can't even tell. They just up in the
Mm-hmm.
air. he just comes down with the ball with his in the air. I don't see him making anything. Nothing is spectacular because he's always wide open. That was a good catch right over the shoulder, but you're not going to see him go up and Randy Moss somebody because for the most part, nobody is quick enough to stay with him that far down the field. Like you rarely see him like jump up, even though he got a 40 something inch vertical. He's so fast, he usually doesn't have to use it. So that's why, like his route running, that's what people are talking about, like the hang up. Just because they don't know, they haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen it, it's automatically a negative.
Right. And I think the other thing I saw people questioning was that they saw him as a slot receiver, and at the Giants already had slot receivers. But from what I'm hearing from you, he could play on the outside.
Mm-hmm. He played on both at Tennessee. I guess maybe they say he's probably better off from the slot because if you are gonna go deep like that, it probably is better to go from the slot. Like a lot of slot wide receivers in the NFL do that. So I could see that. And they was talking about his frame also. But yeah, you could put him anywhere, man. Speed kills regardless of where you put it at on the field. You can line him up in the backfield and he could do stuff. So we'll see.
Ron said the same thing, that I sound low.
Yeah.
What's going on with my
I was thinking, is it Melon? Because we had said, Ron, we had said the same thing when she had first came on before we came on, but we didn't know what was different from when we was just on her show.
right? But
So
Stafford had said something not today, but in another show that
you was low?
the echo,
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to Bluetooth.
not you
It
echo.
looks like a router issue. Supply
It
is working.
sucked. Yeah.
Unplug the router. Wait 10 seconds. Then
Yeah, Ron said, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know why I'm sounding low though.
I don't know. But yeah, that's Jalen Hyatt, man. Like he's I actually think he's the steal of the draft. and a lot of other people. I've seen a lot of experts say the same thing, just because where he was drafted. Like a lot of like if he would have went in the first round, even not by us, if he would have got picked in the first round by somebody else, nobody would have batted an eye. And the fact that he lasted to the top of the third and we went up 16 spots to get him, that means a lot.
Right.
And the reason I'm okay with that is because even though we gave up our fourth round pick for him, so we didn't have a fourth round pick. People have to remember that we had two thirds, and we drafted Darren Waller in the third round also.
Right. Because that's the pick we gave up to
E-
Oakland.
exactly. Oh, Vegas.
Vegas.
So yeah, so basically we got Jalen Hyatt and Darren Waller as our third round picks. So yeah, I'm okay with not having a fourth. Like if we get those two dynamic pass catchers. Who is next? So yeah, we like I said, we didn't have a fourth, so we had to go to the fifth. Wait to the fifth to get Eric Gray. Eric Gray is a really solid running back, and the only reason he actually slipped this far is because if you go down and you look real quick before you go past his weaknesses, his 40 time was atrocious.
Mm,
A 4.6 for that size, and if you look at his tape, he plays way faster than that.
right.
So I don't know. Maybe he had a bad day, but yeah, he had a bad 40 time.
But
But
he
if you
didn't do
look,
a pro day.
say that again.
He didn't do a pro day. This was at the combine.
See, I'm not sure. I think this is his pro day. Like if this is his pro day, that's crazy. Like people don't usually run slower during the pro day, so I don't know. Salute to AJ in the chat. Salute to Mega too. Salute, fellas. Salute, salute, salute. Go Giants. Yeah, but as you decisive, instant acceleration, his jabs and cuts sharp angles without losing speed. Effective route runner with soft hands, like he's really good out of the backfield. His weaknesses are unable to drive through the first level of contact. Like I would never, not never, but I wouldn't put him like in the goal line. Like he's not as powerful as Saquon is.
Right.
Lacks top end breakaway speed, like for home runs. Like his tape is not a lot of like it's a lot of long runs, but he always get caught.
Right.
Like he doesn't have blazing speed, as you can tell from his 40 time. No, but he plays faster than that. But his 40 time is crazy. It just needs to keep runs downhill. He go from east to west a lot, but he'll learn to hamper that down in the league. Saquon had the same problem when he came out of Penn State. So let's get his highlight tape up here.
I like that he could catch out of the backfield.
Yeah, you almost have to do that now. It's a matter of fact, it was a couple running backs that should have got drafted, didn't,
Mm,
and ended up having to be undrafted free agents or a couple teams. Like I'm talking about like guys that was getting like 13, 1400 yards on the ground in college last year. Wasn't drafted because they simply can't catch out of the backfield, and you kind of need that in the NFL now.
wow.
This is Eric Gray. So with this one, yeah, I don't think they're gonna circle him. So he's gonna pretty much be number
Yeah.
zero.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That was a route. That wasn't like a short route across the middle. He was out in space.
Yep, I'm gonna rewind it. There you go.
Look at
Yep,
that.
stick and move, little post route. I like that. Yeah, but he's a very good short area guy.
Mhm.
He'll make a couple people miss, man. Just keep going. But look how he get caught. If he had breakaway speed, that's a touchdown. There wasn't
Right.
nobody in front of him. But if you get a good angle on him, you'll catch him. But he has very good vision. One of the best visions in the draft this year.
Mm.
Yeah, I think like Eric Gray. I think he can be a starter in this league.
Mm. Wow.
Not don't get me wrong. He's not gonna start over Saquon Barkley if we keep him. But let's just say if Saquon don't want to be a Giant no more, we got Eric Gray, and we'll be just fine in our offense. You look at that. I like the jump cuts. He can run the ball out of the wildcat. Saquon had to do that a couple times this year. Eric Gray did it a few times this year also. Yeah, as you can see, like he got good moves, but as you can see, it's not that many. That's why it's not that many touchdowns on his tape, especially long ones, because of the long speed. He's more quick than fast. Like that should be like he should have got there sooner. Like a little bit. Like that hole was huge, but he would definitely make the first guy miss. But the second guy is what have to worry about with him. But the first guy ain't tackling him though, because that's what I remember. Because I watched Oklahoma play a couple times. I ain't watched their whole season, but I saw them play a couple times last year. That's what I remember from him. I remember that I was like, yo, he don't nobody ever touch him until like he get down the field. He always makes the first guy miss. He not gonna make the second one miss,
Right.
but the first guy is always on the ground for some reason.
Now, what does this do for, what is it, Bradison? Bradison?
Say that again.
What does that do for the running back that was playing behind Saquon? Is he back?
Oh, Matt Breida.
Breeder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's back, but
You know, I
he.
thought I added the son at the end, Breederson. No.
Yeah, Matt Breida. But he's fast, but he's a veteran, a little older. Yeah, he'll still have a spot on the roster. I'll have all three of them. And we got another guy, Gary
Him out?
Brotwell. I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you think Gray would beat him out?
I don't know. They're kind of the same because Matt Breida is fast too. He's fat. He's a lot faster than Eric Gray. So it all depends. And plus, he's a rookie. So, but you're a rookie running back, and you got a couple running backs in front of you. You know, I don't know if he'll be our third back, but he'll get touches. Let's just say that he should get touches
Right,
every game.
right.
Like Saquon Barkley, he played way too many snaps last year. Even though I know that's what we, liking our running backs because I'm an older type of dude. We like those bell cows. The NFL isn't like that anymore.
Right.
Like Saquon Barkley, I think he like 80% of our snaps or something crazy like that. Like the most by any running back in the league, I think. So that has to stop. Or we always talk about Saquon getting hurt. That's one of the reasons. All right, so that's Eric Gray. Next up, hold on. Let's see what's up to the chat.
I didn't know that Cormega, that Mega NYK was Cormega.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. He's trained name. Same thing with Pudge. Pudge, remember Pudge Nice?
Yeah, what's Pudge Nice name now?
Pudge is the Knicks are nice or something like that. That's Pudge.
That's him?
Yeah, they both changed their name. And the crazy part, they both changed their names like around the same time. I don't know. It was just a coincidence, but yeah, I knew that was Cormega. That's what's up. I could tell by the way he typed. Like he typed the same. So like saluting each other and stuff in the chat. So yeah, salute to Mega, man. So next up, talked about him a little briefly before when I said we drafted two starting caliber cornerbacks. Trey Hawkins might have something to say about who's going to be the starting corner because he's a very just like Deontay Banks. He's not as seasoned as Banks,
Hmm.
but he is athletic freak, aggressive man to man corner too. Strengths, good combination of size and length. Active hands, accurate with the press.
Hmm.
Um, can attack shed blocks quickly in the run support. Like he's better in the run than Deontay Banks is.
Oh, wow.
This is a six rounder out of Old Dominion. So weaknesses: pre-snap instincts are lacking. Freak with step slow in making his jump on the ball and lacks proficiency in route recognition. He's basically lack experience.
Hmm.
But when it comes to his aggressiveness and the way that he plays, like he can ball. I don't have a long these with the lower draft picks. I don't have long videos for them. I just have the ones that I think the Giants put out. I think this one is like less than a minute long, but it shows his aggressiveness.
Oh, where he played Division three.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can tell by the footage, right? It's Old Dominion, so it's not a Power Five school, but Old Dominion. We got O'Shea Zimenez from went to Old Dominion, and he just re-signed with us too. And the Jets actually signed I mean, not signed, but they just drafted a tight end that went to Old Dominion this year also. So they got talent in the school, but Trey Hawkins is a nice, aggressive man, press corner, just like Deontay Banks is, and he's actually bigger.
Yeah, I saw that 6'2".
Yeah, he's 6'2", long arms, super aggressive, good on the run. And he was drafted in the sixth round mainly because of when he went to school and his experience. But he can play though.
Yeah, they'll coach him up.
Yeah, so that's why I'm so excited about this draft class. Like even the lower round picks. We'll go through the lower ones a little faster. The next one is Jordan Riley. Check with the chat real quick. Yeah, Riley is like the most head scratching one for me. I didn't really know anything about this dude. He went to Oregon. Um, you can see his strength. He pretty much we drafted him because of his size. He doesn't have that much production, strengths, um, interior flexibility, functional strength to walk O lineman into the pocket, devours blockers inside. Like he's a big dude. As you can see, he's 6'5", around 340. He's not an athletic freak by any stretch of the imagination, though, because these times, the time and the vert, I think my vert might be higher than 25 right now, and I'm 44 years old. Yeah, I don't know where he got that 25 vert from, but usually they vertical is so important, and they use that as a measuring stick for explosiveness. Pretty much that and the broad jump. That's why I highlight those actual because there are a lot of drills people do like three cone and stuff like that. A lot of people put a lot of what GMs put a lot of stock in the broad jump and the vert because of that. Those jumping motions just shows your explosiveness. That's all. Not overly explosive, twitchy athlete. Ball get off lacks explosiveness. Same, pretty much the same thing. Not an upfield rusher. Like he's not going to sack anybody. Like pretty
The
much a run
interior,
stuffer.
no, I'm sorry. That the interior flexibility is about his position.
Yes,
Okay, because I
because
thought that was another bendability characteristic.
yeah, flexibility because even though we like he's a defensive tackle, obviously, but we have I don't know. You can just by the way we play defense, we play a 4-3. So those three linemen that's on the field, all three of them can be defensive tackles. You just move them around. You call them ends. The one in the middle is the nose, who is Dexter Lawrence. The year before that, he played on the end, even though he's still an interior lineman, if that makes sense. So that's the flexibility that I'm talking about. He can play either position just like Dexter Lawrence can. And just like um, Leo can too. Like he can do that also. So like this is just a depth thing. Just like we got Nacho, we got Robinson from the Rams. You can tell that they knew when Dexter Lawrence got off the field, people were just running all over us because that was the main reason our run defense was low. Because when Dexter Lawrence went on the field, like teams just ran all up and down us the middle of our defense. So hold on, let me get him. This is Jordan Riley. Yeah, he's just a big dude in the right in the middle of the field. Look, half of his highlight is the same play. It just showed. It just showed in the slow motion the second time I saw.
That's a 91.
Yeah, and he's a transfer from. I think he went to North Carolina and then transferred to Oregon. Matter of fact, I don't even think North Carolina was his first school. I think he transferred like twice.
Mhm.
But they pretty much drafted him because of his size. Like you can't teach 6'5", 340. and late round pick. But this is the most head scratching one because of athleticism. And I actually have an athleticism chart for all the draft picks. He's the only one that's like below average, like really below average. Like he's just big. Hold on. All right. Next up, Javarius Owens. Like Javarius Owens, he's another really athletic dude that's aggressive. Like it was a real pattern how they picked their defensive backs this year. They're all the same. They're all athletic freaks that are really aggressive in man coverage. The reason why Javarius Owens was picked in the seventh round, even though a lot of teams actually had like a fourth round grade on him, he might be a little bit too aggressive, and he misses a lot of tackles because of it. I go through his strengths real quick. He has cornerback experience, so even though he played safety for the most part in college, he played corner in the beginning of his college career, and he could play nickel. So that versatility alone already, is a plus. And he plays a lot of special teams also. Um, Steps downhill quickly to attack the line of scrimmage. Like he'll hit you. Could be a big hitter when playing in the box. But his weaknesses are the reason that he was picked in the seventh round. Like inconsistent field recognition as a safety, his high number of missed open field tackles because he's so aggressive. He doesn't wrap up all the time. Like he just try to take your head off and he'll miss. And he got hands like feet. Let's just say that.
No help on that one.
Like you know what I'm saying, we got another Nerlens on our hands when it comes to New York sports. So yeah, he dropped a number of interceptions last year. Don't get me wrong, like he still got a couple, but some of the ones that he could have gotten easily that like right out of his hands or went through his hands. Um, Size, weight, and speed. Y'all see it. Another physically demanding dude. His 40 time is a little low. Maybe that's one of the reasons. But for a safety, that's not slow.
Right.
If he was a corner with that time, then yes. But for the most part, he was a safety. So a 4.5 is not that bad at all. He's just not blazing out there. But with his broad jump, and his size, he's like in the 90th percentile too when it comes to athleticism. Don't let the
Wow.
40 time fool you. Like all of that is elite. A lot of people just don't know it because they don't be knowing people's times when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, Javarius Owens is elite also. So let me get
Now
his.
he's seventh round.
Hmm.
Is he? I know usually the late round picks are mostly special team guys. He's
Yes,
going to be a special team guy. Or you think he'll probably be both.
right. I think all of these dudes were going to be playing special teams. Like even Jalen Hyatt, even though he might have been touted as a first round pick, he was picked in the third. He might be back there receiving punts.
Okay.
You never know. Like they're not first round picks. Like they have value, of course, but yeah, these are the dudes that's supposed to be playing special teams. Like, and maybe that's part of the reason why they drafted them because they are athletic freaks and they all have special team experience on their college at their school also. Yeah, but this is Javarius Owens. He has range. He picked that one off. Remember, I said he dropped a lot of them. But yeah, he'll pick some off. But yeah, he's long, fast, ball hawk. Be very fierce hitter too. Yeah, that's a safety coming up hitting you like that. He'll hawk you down, cause turnovers. Like he good with the hustle plays. He got a motor that doesn't stop. And he's perfect. So stuff like that, he'd be perfect for special teams because of stuff like that. I don't expect him to get that many downs on defense, but special teams for sure. Salute to Almighty Finesse. Hey, Almighty Finesse. You talk about that Wheaton Ford guy is going to be nice. You'll find out soon enough, sir. Hold on 1 second.
I was
Well,
about to say, is he with us?
yes, he's with us. That's actually the guy that I was talking about earlier. That I'm gonna get to. But yeah, that's Javarius Owens, and that was all of our draft picks. We went through them way faster than I thought we was. So, any
But
questions about any of them?
not really. I think you answered most of the questions as we went along.
Hmm.
I know we gave up some draft picks to move up,
Hmm.
um, but we got some guys from last year that were injured and didn't play,
Exactly.
or didn't play a lot if they played at all. So
Hmm.
that should help us. That's almost like having extra draft picks this year.
Yep. I mean, we got Wendell Robinson as a wide receiver. He got hurt, torn ACL. He's not even going to be back for the beginning of the season. We drafted him in the second round last year.
He's corner court. I mean, he's outside of slot.
Slot, little dude, coming out of the backfield, but he's good at what he does though, and
Mhm.
you could tell he was getting his footing in the league. He played a couple games and then he got hurt. Like he
And
got hurt in the preseason, missed the beginning of the season. I think he was out like the first 4 games. I could be wrong though. But then when he came back, he did pretty good a couple games and then he got hurt again.
right.
So he's almost like an unknown commodity. We don't even know how good he can be. He was drafted. They drafted him in the second round. So if Dable and Joe Shane drafted a wide receiver in the second round, they had a plan for that wide receiver that they just couldn't.
Right.
They just couldn't do it. So what's next? Yeah, this is the athletic chart for all of them. Greens means elite. Yellow means above average.
Mhm.
Red, like I said, with Jordan Riley is below. So that those are all the numbers right there. As you can see, like I said, look at all the defensive backs. They're all like 90 percentile when it comes to athleticism. Jalen Hyatt is an 8 point something, and it should be a 9 point something. But like I told you, he had a pull hammy with the 40 time. So if he would have, ran his real time, his would be higher than that too. Eric Gray, his is lower because of 40 time. That's why he's in the yellow. John Michael Smith, he's a center. All theirs is pretty much in in the yellow because he's a center. So none of them are really overly athletic, or they probably be guards. So yeah, that's the athleticism score for all of our draft picks.
Wow. Jordan Riley, he might not make the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's pretty much just a run stuffer, and it's kind of weird because we just picked up two dudes, two run stuffing dudes off the street. From
Hmm.
well, not off the street, but one Nacho played for Tampa Bay last year, and then Ashawn Robinson played for the Rams last year, and they're both run stopping defensive tackles. So the Jordan Riley pick is kind of head scratching to me, to be honest. But I get it.
Right. Whatever happened to? This is a bit off topic. Shane Lemieux, this two seasons ago. What was he, guard? Right.
Shane Moore played guard, but he can play center. Um, but I'm trying to think what happened to Shane Lemieux. I forgot because I know he got hurt multiple
Right.
times.
Yeah.
I think he's still with the team.
I think he is too. I just wanted to know why he just hasn't moved up. There was
Injury.
injury.
And the time that a couple times when he wasn't injured, when he was healthy, he didn't do really that good either when he was in there. So we could have used the upgrade from him. I think he was what pick did we get Shane Lemieux? Like fifth round guard or something like that. Nick Gates is the one that I was thinking about that I didn't know it was here. He left. He kept getting injured too, but he was healthy last year. But he left, and John Feliciano left our starting center. So that's why we pretty much needed one.
Right.
Now these are undrafted free agent signings. It's a long list. I didn't want to really talk about any of these dudes because for the most part, none of them are going to make the team. The edge from Pitt. he has a chance, but when I look at him, I don't see it because of his motor. But like from a uh, size and athleticism standpoint, um, Baldon, Baldonado, he's a good player, but I can see why he got undrafted. It was pretty much motor, and we kind of do need an edge. Uh, he said, "Nah, you bugging. Calm down, Almighty Finesse. I'ma get to him." I said, "Most of them. I'm gonna make you very happy real soon. Believe me." Wide receiver is just like Almighty Finesse keeps bringing up wide receivers. I like that because wide receiver is actually my favorite position. I think I said that before. I studied them the most. Uh, I'm going to do a spotlight on Bryce Ford Wheaton. Hold on, Steph, you good?
Yeah, I thought, was that my internet?
Yeah, you just popped off.
Oh wow.
It's all good. You good though?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So Bryce Ford Wheaton. Bryce Ford Wheaton, when it comes to height, weight, and speed, athleticism, and stuff like that, everything that I talked about all show. He is in the 90th percentile also.
Mm.
This kid is phenomenal when it comes to stuff like that. I will get you through his strengths and weaknesses also, and this is how much I like him. Strengths: big frame with plus wingspan, jump ball specialist with strong hands, uses frame. The shield, catch through contact, pretty much playing basketball out there. Weaknesses: fails to gain separation. Remember, I'm a big separation guy. Very limited route tree. He doesn't like if it's not a bomb. He's either catching a screen and just showing his athleticism to break tackles, but he's like his route tree. It ain't that good. Let's just say that. That's why he lacks the foot quickness, the slip press coverage. That's why he kind of got undrafted. I think that's the reason he got undrafted. Because when you look at his intangibles and his weight, size, speed, everything like that, he screams first round pick.
Mm.
The only reason he wasn't drafted, I think maybe because of production. They didn't have really a good quarterback at West Virginia the past couple seasons, so can't really blame him on that. Um, but when it comes to his athleticism and stuff, this dude is crazy, and I actually think he's going to make the team. And I'll tell you a reason for that after the highlights too, because he didn't sign a regular contract with them, not a regular undrafted free agent contract. Like this kid is special, and they think so. I'll go through the contract soon. So this is 6'4" moving like this.
Mm. You know me and E real happy, even though you said don't.
Talk about size. Yeah, but this is a jump ball specialist. Like to get him, and the reason we got him is because he went to West Virginia.
Mhm.
This is a dude that actually we have 30 visits. The giant every team has 30 visits. You can pick 30 prospects that you could bring in for a visit.
Mhm.
Even though he got undrafted, he was one of them.
Mhm.
So that means that a lot of people thought he was going to get drafted, and he slipped through the cracks for some reason. Him being undrafted is weird, and I have no idea why he went undrafted. Some people thought like this dude was going to be like a third or fourth round pick. I was doing research, going through interviews, seeing maybe it was like off the field stuff, and he like clean as a whistle.
Mhm.
So I have no idea why he wasn't drafted.
Eh,
Even with the lack of production, I don't get why he wasn't drafted.
I was about to say, even with those negatives, he still that's not enough to go undrafted.
Exactly. Because if you're a wide receiver coach, you salivate with this kid walk through the door. Like, look at this. Like, he's a beast. Down the field, snatch and grab, first down. So he has stuff that you can't teach. I guess maybe he got undrafted. I don't know how fast his processing is for the stuff that you can teach. Maybe that's what it is. He could be dumb as a box of rocks. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there has to be a reason why this kid. Don't get me wrong. Everybody isn't drafted, and there are a lot of undrafted rookies that can come in. Almighty Finesse said he's 23. Yeah, he was a senior coming out. But yeah, but it's weird. So usually when you're undrafted, I guess I'll talk about this now because I think there's not that much time left. Oh no, it's a little, almost half left. Usually when you're undrafted, the kind of contract that you sign, they get rid of you after camp or, hardly any of them make the team. But the type of contract that he signed, I'll show it to you after the because I broke down his contract. Like he signed a guaranteed contract for the year already. On a quick story, why he chose the Giants. Not only is he one of the we was one of the few teams that brought him in for a 30 visit. We have a wide receiver by the name of David Sills. He used to play for Buffalo, got cut. Then we picked him up and put him on our practice squad for a few years. Like David Sills been in the league since like 2019 or 20 or something like that. He went to West Virginia also. So between that and the visit, he got on the phone with David Sills, and David Sills pretty much sold the Giants on him. Right after the draft, he said he had calls from the Eagles and the Seahawks, and they went straight to voicemail because he knew he was going to go to the Giants already. That's how much he liked the organization, he liked the visit, and he liked Brian Dable.
You think Sills, the Giants asked him to do that, or you think he just
Probably not.
okay?
But then again, if I wouldn't put it past him, even though he might take his position, because they're both wide receivers, and David Sills. Yeah, David Sills played. He played in the games for us last year. He's number 13 now. He's a white dude. White dude, number 13, David Sills. He's been in the league for a few years, but for the most part, he's been like up and down from the practice squad. But he actually started a couple games for us. Like he pretty much took Kenny Galladay's snaps a lot in the beginning of the season before Isaiah Hodgins got there. So David Sills played. So yeah, that was a good. This is his athletic chart. Green's all over the place. Remember I said green is elite, yellow is above average. The three cone is above average, and it say 6 on there, but that's like a above average still three cone.
Right.
But look at the nines. Like he's an athletic freak when it comes to his size and speed and stuff like that. Like for a comparison, say that again.
4.3840 at 6'4".
6'4", 220. Yeah, that's nuts. And I'm not saying that he plays at that speed all the time because of the quickness. He's more fast and quick. Just like I said, Eric Gray was more quick than fast with his 40 time. This dude, he might have he might run a 4.3, but you might not see it on the field unless he is like going long and outrun somebody. Or if he get the ball and somebody chase him, they're not going to catch him. But he's not going to show 4.3 like going in and out of his breaks. Like he's not a separator. I already said that. But for like comparison, with his size, weight, and speed and stuff like that, let me with his measurables, like this is like Calvin Johnson type stuff. Or I'm trying to think of another big one, DK Metcalf maybe. Like that size, and he's actually I think he's an inch taller than DK. I think DK came in at 6'3". I could be wrong though. But yeah, that's the type of, and DK Metcalf was what, second round, third round pick off of his athleticism too. So that's why it was kind of weird that he got undrafted. But I'm glad we got him. And this is the contract that I was talking about. He already signed a $236,000 guaranteed contract, and I put for a full season salary for the practice squad is only 216, and he got like a $20,000 signing bonus for an undrafted free agent. That's unheard of. And I put that the Giants hosted them as one of their 30 pre-draft visits. Like to sign him already for the season, that already knows that shows me that they have a plan for him already. And if they have a plan for you, that means you're valuable, regardless of where you got picked. And he didn't even get picked. So yeah, if I was a wide receiver on like at the bottom of the roster, somebody like David Sills, even since we brought him up, yeah, I'd be kind of nervous that he'll take my spot because they obviously have a plan for him.
Right. Has Daniel Jones have ever had a tall receiver like this, a tall target like this since he's been in New York?
Yeah, well, remember Isaiah Hodgins is 6'4" also, but he like I said multiple times, we got Isaiah Hodgins off the practice squad. He hasn't even been on the team for a whole year yet. And then we had Kenny Galladay. You know how that turned out.
Right.
So when it comes to this type of height and speed, no. Isaiah Hodgins might be as big, but he's not running like that at all.
Mhm.
And I actually like Isaiah Hodgins. He's definitely going to be part of the team next year. He might start. He'll probably still start. But yeah, this kid is going to be good too. At least I hope. So
When does
that
training camp? I know they had rookie mini camp.
I'm not sure. I know regular OTAs and stuff is like in June. That's coming up like in the middle of June. Um, I don't know. Let me look real quick. Look up NFL dates in the off season because they just had, like you said, they just had rookie mini camp. What's May? Spring meetings start May 22nd to the 24th. Uh, it look like OTAs is around June 15th, like in the middle of June.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Sorry. But yeah, I think that was the show. I don't think I got anything else, Steph.
Wow.
That's all our draft picks, man. Almost got it in less than an hour 8 minutes.
That's what's up, though. That's what's up. I'm excited. Um, yeah, I'm just excited about getting back into the Giants.
Yeah, but I'm really excited about this kid, man. Like I've been watching him, being trying to look at some of his interviews. Really good, well spoken dude. Yeah, like I'm rooting for him. Even though Jalen Hyatt is still my son, though. Like I only adopt one. I try to adopt one 'cause I don't like to put my feelings all over the place. Now I'm saying because he's an undrafted free agent. He might mess around and not make the team. He might mess around and be playing for
Which
the
I guess,
Bengals.
I guess it's not a lot. 237
Right.
thousand.
They'll throw that away if he sucked. They'll throw that away, Steph. Like they'd cut him. They wouldn't care about that. But compared to the weapons, I don't know. I might make a show on just the new weapons that Daniel Jones is going to have. Our offense is going to look completely different. Salute to Ron. Ron said, "Nice job, guys." Salute, Ron. Thank you. Appreciate it.
But
But
I
yeah.
think that center is going to help Daniel Jones as well.
hmm The center, we got Darren Waller, we got Jalen Hyatt, we got Paris Campbell. Who else is new? Even though I don't know if he's going to make the team, he's the oldest vet on the team, Sterling Shepard. People keep forgetting about him because he keeps getting injured, but he's still on the team. And when he is healthy, he can get open. He was our best wide receiver when he got hurt last year. So yeah, we still got him. So I put him as a new target just because Daniel Jones didn't have him for most of the season last year. So our whole wide receiving group look completely different next year. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, and the offensive line got the upgrade, and I keep mentioning that because to me that's just been the Achilles heel of the Giants going um, back to Eli Manning. I remember saying, look, Eli Manning is 200 years old. Y'all trying to draft a line that he can grow with. Just piece together something every year until
Right,
he out of here, you know?
right. That like I didn't get that either, man. Like they really screwed over Eli at the end of his career. They when they got rid of Jay Reese and brought in David Gettleman.
Mhm.
I'm not saying they held on to Eli too long, but just the building blocks that they put around him didn't make sense. Like after Odell, that's where it should have stopped. It. That's why they drafted Saquon like second overall to try to
Right.
help Eli. Eli ain't need no running back at number two,
No.
right?
A
Eli,
lot get
right,
a Grizzly veterans teach
right.
them. Other teams do it.
Eli was like 40 years old. You gave him a rookie running back. It had the second overall pick of the draft. That's why David Gettleman got fired, ultimately. Even though he obviously had a couple picks, we already mentioned Daniel Jones and Dexter Lawrence and Julian Love is a pick of his, and a couple other dudes too. Like he had a couple of good picks, but yeah, David Gettleman, he that Saquon pick. Even though much as I like Saquon, that ruined our franchise by a lot. That was the Josh Allen pick. I mean draft, Steph.
Mm.
That was the like Lamar Jackson draft. That's the all those quarterbacks went in that draft. Uh, Quentin Nelson from the Colts. I remember that's who I actually wanted us to draft. He's like a Hall of Fame guard. We could have got it second, but got Saquon. But I hate to say that because now that Saquon's here, he's like the face of the franchise. Like he's our best player, but it almost doesn't matter if it's coming from the running back position. Unfortunately,
Right.
you're right.
Because Nelson is still playing, right?
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
damn near all pro every season at left guard. So when your best player is a running back, it looked good, but roster wise, that's dumb. Like that's you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to win any Super Bowls with your running back being your best player. I don't remember the last time that happened. Like you got to go back to like the '85 Bears with Walter Payton.
Mm. Wow, that's going back.
Like think about when's the last time the running back was the number one player on the team. Like not the quarterback, not a wide receiver, not like a crazy defense. Even though the Chicago Bears had a crazy defense that year, everybody knew Walter Payton was the man on that offense. It hasn't been a offense like that or a running back like that in a very long time that you won a Super Bowl strictly because you had that running back on the offensive side of the ball. It don't happen like that anymore. So, salute to everybody in the chat, man. We're gonna probably get out of here earlier. That's all we got. We got all the whole draft. Uh, Eru was supposed to come through. He probably over there still talking about the Knicks. Probably mad.
No,
Let me check y'all out. I'm gonna take y'all behind the curtain. Eru was so mad. He said he had to skip the Giants show because he had to get these bars off because he's so mad about the Knicks. So salute to Die Hard, my brother Eru over there on Die Hard Knicks over there spewing the Knicks right now. Probably, I know I don't know what he's saying right now, and I didn't go on his channel to see because I knew I was coming over here. But I know he gave Mitchell Robinson the business. He gave Obi the business. He
Mhm.
gave Randall the business. Probably Tibbs too. Everybody. I know somebody got cussed out over there.
More than one.
More than one. I'm sure Mitch was one of them though.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
And
say
all
salute
right,
to
I don't want to
Megan.
listen to a Nick show.
Nah, you can go
I
ahead.
um when I saw Mitch in the Cleveland series, I was like, all right, maybe he finally turned the corner. Like if this is the Mitch
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get, I'm good. I don't got nothing
Mm-hmm.
to say about Mitch. And the clock struck 12.
Mm-hmm. Straight pumpkin. Straight up pumpkin. He's still on the corner doing other stuff. I ain't even gonna say. He ain't turned no corner. Man, Mitch was people was talking about Mitch like he was the Kimbe Batumbo last series.
Man.
Now Bam Adebayo just taking his lunch every series. It seemed like I don't even go by games. I'm looking at it from like this, like the like possession by possession. I'm like, yo, Mitch, you gonna act like you want to play basketball right now? Like
Right.
he
And that's
chumping you off.
the Knicks look like they out of shape. They just look like
Yeah,
they on their last leg. Mitch got a rebound. They just took it out his hand. That's
like it was nothing.
It was
In the yo, Steph, in the last yo, Mitch almost pissed me off. I cussed him out on the TV. He said in the after the last game, he said he got to bring more energy and he got to try to get the job done. I'm like, yo, Mitch, y'all down 1-3. Now you got to bring the energy.
right, right.
This the biggest series in this franchise in the last 10 seasons. Now you bring an injury.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
mean,
if
now
he.
you're not injury. Now you bring an energy. Like, come on, man.
They say that he might be injured, but shit, Butler's injured.
Everybody's injured. It's the second round of the playoffs. Who's not injured? Everybody playing hurt. You can't use that as an excuse anymore, man. You just need to sit down then. Or is it you? Unless your injury and your circumstance is so crazy that you can't sit down because you ain't got no center and you just toughing it out for the team. That'd be cool too. Don't get me wrong. I like hard nose stuff like that, but you can't use that as an excuse for getting outplayed. You just can't.
Right. Yeah.
Willis Reed came in and did what and then sat right back down. Right then, Willis Reed came out the tunnel. I think he shot a jumper and sat his ass right back down.
Had to be
Why?
a because when you see that, you think he just came out the tunnel and that was it. I'm like, yo, he actually scored two baskets before he sat down. That's what I'm talking about.
Willis Reed came out the tunnel, shot two jumpers, and sat down. He was like, y'all I ain't got a lot, but I'm gonna give you what I got. You know what I'm
But I
saying? Man, we just telling you to give you what you got, man. Randall the same way. Can't use that ankle as no excuse now, buddy. Not in game two when you had like 25. Like he almost had a triple double.
right, that's true.
And then in game three he just played soft. You can't use the ankle as an excuse anymore. Can't do it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And he
Can't
came
do it.
out and dunked.
Yeah, yeah, can't do it. Like you can't be tough when you're doing well, and all of a sudden you got an ankle problem when they killing you. So
Yeah.
yeah, all
My
right.
Knicks, have a lot to talk about in the offseason. Listen, it could still go seven. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying.
I just
I'm
hope
just
it goes
telling
six.
you. Right.
I hope it goes six. We'll see if it goes six, man. Like they pissing me off, Steph. I had us in five, Steph. Made me look stupid. Like I don't like when teams make me look stupid, man. We ain't show up, man. We ain't show up. IQ,
You,
you about to make me mad all over. I'm about to get off here.
well,
I'm about to.
I'm just saying what I do now. You was the finalist for six man of the year.
How much? What that bag looking like now?
That's looking like a mini purse.
He got. He just where my mouse at. His purse look like that. He just got the little. He got a little fanny pack now. He ain't got no purse. IQ is bugging, man. He lost a lot of money, man. Or did he? He might not have lost a lot of money. It all
Listen,
depends on how they think about him.
look how much money we got tied up in Randall, Brunson, Robinson, Barrett. That's a $450 million core right there. And you got to
Yep.
ask yourself, can that money have been better spent? Knowing what we know now, I mean, obviously at the time.
Right. Mm. Now and you gotta see the Obi situation. Hey, yo, what's up? See, you about to piss me off all over
Now,
again.
Obi can forget it. I mean, when he dropped that 18-8, I said, you know what?
Ain't been
Even
a
if
game.
they go around and we could get a first round, we
Right,
get a
right.
first round pick or or something.
Ever since that 18-8, he ain't had a game without an air ball since. He's an air ball every game. I don't know
And
what
they
it is.
down to 15 million.
Yo, 15. That's what Mitch got. Hey,
Wow.
and Mitch is a second round pick, so that's bad for IQ. Going to 60 million. We was talking about him getting one something.
Yeah. I mean, I would give him 76. That's what Fournier got, like 18 million or something like that.
But you paying 18 million for that?
Well, just hoping that maybe what we saw in the regular season, he's going to build off of that. And what we see in the playoffs was just him just needing some more growth. And like next year in the playoffs, he'll know what to expect and will get more.
Right.
Well, you just betting on upside. playoff upside. Forget
Mm-hmm.
regular season upside because you know what did I say during the show? No, this was on Tony Kro's show. Draymond Green said there's regular season players
Yep.
and there's playoff players. There's
Yep.
84 game players, and then there's guys that ball out in the playoffs. And I'm just really hoping Randall is not that regular season player where he's all NBA and all star this and all star that. And then the playoffs come, knocks you under.
Yeah.
There's a drop.
And the crazy part is, you will never know until you just make the decision whether he is or not, unless he shows you. But how many years do you wait until you pull the plug on it? That's the thing, because his prime is coming up fast. Like, he's not like RJ. It's not like he's old. Don't get me wrong. He's like what, 26, 27 years old. But that 27 could turn into 30 real quick. Like by the time his contract is up, he'll be 30, right, or something like that. 29 going into 30. So what happens after
Just
that?
the first year. This was just a seemed like we signed him 3 years ago.
Right,
This is just the first year of that contract.
right. Mm. Yep, Mega. You right. Upgrades are definitely needed.
But do you do that? I mean, if you listen to some Knicks fans, they'll just say it's to be expected. The Knicks are a young team, and just let them grow. Next year, the year after, they'll be better. I think it's a little bit of both. There's some players I would like to see grow over time, but there's some players that I don't really have a lot of faith
I'm trying to figure out who I got faith in like that. For me to wait for him, though. I don't know if I got faith in Quentin Grimes enough for me to wait 3 years for him.
in. Damn, you think he said 3 years? You think that's how long it's going to take?
I mean, we in year two.
Oh, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't mean 3 years from now. That
oh,
means he can be in the league for 5 years. If I don't know by then, he'll be Mitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know Mitch is not going to be, you know, he's going to be Mitch. I don't think Mitch is going to be any better than what he is now.
right,
Not saying that he's terrible, because he's good at what he's good at, but
right,
I don't see him getting better at anything else, though.
right.
And I don't really see him getting better at the stuff that he's good at either. Like, I think this is pretty much Mitch's ceiling, unfortunately. Just inconsistent play. Um, yeah, like everybody keep talking about how much of defensive dynamo Mitch is. The all defensive teams came out today. His name wasn't on it this year either.
Yeah,
So until something like that happens, then that's when he'll turn the corner. Until then, he'll just be a slightly above average defensive center with like lackadaisical offensive skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, for his scouting report, like, what else can you say about him?
yeah, yeah. The Knicks are going to have a lot to think about because you got to be careful because you got the continuity, and this is what Sim and Tony was talking about. Because I was like, yo, we got to change a lot. But they
Mm-hmm.
brought up good points about some continuity, and you don't want to be starting all over because you've made so many changes. But we got to make one or two.
Yeah. And as long as your core is still there, I think you should be able to make any change that you want to.
But the
Like,
core can't be the whole team because that's what
right,
this
right, right, right,
example
right.
Tony Crow. The core was the whole. They named like 8 players in the rotation.
Yeah,
I'm
see.
like, no, that's too much.
Yeah,
That
that just
is too large.
yeah, that just means you like a lot of players on the team. That's not the core.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
the core is Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and probably RJ Barrett.
right.
You could throw quickly in there too, just because you think that they're gonna, sign him to an extension. But Mitch is on a very tradable contract. He's only a second round pick, only making 15 and going down. So I wouldn't call him a core. Like, none of the other dudes are like Quentin Grimes. I wouldn't call him a core yet because you don't know if he is good enough to even get the second contract yet. Like, we don't know yet. So I can't call him a core either.
What about Josh Hart?
Uh, I like Josh Hart, but would I call him the core? No. Because core to me means that somebody you definitely wouldn't want to replace. And I think even though I like Josh Hart, I say pay Hart all the time. We should re-sign him. I still think he's replaceable just because he's coming off the bench.
Right. Right.
That's all. Like our core should probably be Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and R.J. Barrett. We just don't want to say R.J. Barrett because he's so inconsistent.
And
But he is part of the core.
yeah, my issue with that too, the inconsistency, but I don't have a lot of faith in RJ Barrett's jump shot coming
Jump
from him.
shot.
And I just feel like we need that from that
Right.
position.
Because I think his ceiling goes as high as that jump shot goes.
Oh, no doubt about
Because everything else is fine. I mean, he can obviously he got stuff to work on, like going to the basket in the mid range and stuff like that. But his
it.
core is just, hey, yo, see, Aj go, you see, hey, yo, catch us. We about to end this. Catch us on dope. So Aj about to get me pissed
Right,
off.
right, right, right.
We'll be sitting here talking about the Knicks for 3 hours, yo. I'm about to mess around and get Aj the link. Because a lot of people don't know. A lot of people that watch us on Dope Soul every week, Thursdays at 9 o'clock. Like the show could actually start when the show is over,
Right.
and sometimes me and Steph don't get off of here until like 2 o'clock in the morning messing with
Right.
AJ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Tsunami, her
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Oh, definitely.
They just we sit there and talk about the Knicks for hours and hours and hours. I love it. It just is what it is. That's how we get down, man.
No doubt about it.
So I'm gonna end this now. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to Mega, Aj, Ron came through earlier. Who else? Almighty Finesse, always my brother.
Definitely.
Salute, salute. Who else came? Jeff. Jeff was the first one in here. Gave me the like, even though he's a Jets fan.
Jeff just snuck into the dope soul family.
See, see, he know what he doing. He snuck in real quick, trying to be on everybody's show now. He snuck in, giving out likes and stuff. He ain't even no Giants fan. He gave us a like. He gonna be the first one in the chat, man. So
Right, right.
salute to Jeff, salute to everybody, man, and we'll check y'all out. Salute, go to the channel, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go to Dope Soul, like, subscribe. Go to Die Hard Knicks. Eru had a show earlier today talking about the Knicks. I'm sure he cut somebody out. Go to him, like and subscribe to New York Die Hard Knicks. Simeon Russell, y'all already know. NBK fan, that's what it is. Tony Crow, everybody down with NBK is down with me. Family, and we out. Peace.
Peace.